Taxi Vlog 356 approximately. It is the 7th of May, and so far May has not been all that fabulous. That's wrong. As you may recall, Friday last week was really nothing special. In fact, it was quite a disappointment. At the end of the shift, I had one $55 fare, or was it 60? And that made my night not even acceptable. The weekend was the weekend. I didn't really accomplish much. I didn't get a lot of resting done. I totaled up my paperwork for the month of April and sent the tax man some money. Speaking about sending the tax man money, I owe quite a sizable. Well, for me, it's a big amount. So I will have to dip into my retirement savings to pay my income tax from last year, because last year I made more money than I made the year before. And so Monday I came out, and it started really slow. And around 10 o'clock it started getting going, and then it was quite steady after that. I did rather well the rest of Monday night. Nothing really stood out as in terms of strange or weird customers, and people were generous, and it paid off. It was more than 3/4 of the sheet, which was nice for Monday. Tuesday was a little bit incrementally slower, but I got a few lucky trips, like one out to Langford and one from one end of town to the other, and some of the tips were really generous on that Tuesday night. So the Tuesday night, while not being quite as good as the Monday night, which was excellent, well, for a Monday night, first week of May, yeah. And so the Tuesday turned out okay. I had enough money in the bank to pay my goods and services tax from the taxi, and had enough money to pay for my phone bill. That was Monday and Tuesday, and I still have a bit of money left over from that. Wednesday night, I got a late start because I was tired. It took me a while to wind down on Wednesday morning after going for my exercise and walking around the neighborhood, because I need to do that for my health and so that my back doesn't give out again. I'll have to do the same thing in the morning after this shift. But it took me a while to get relaxed and tired and sleepy. So I got relaxed and tired and sleepy, and by around noon I went to bed. Cindy comes into my room and says, "Andy, you're really late." So I open my eyes and I go, "What?" And she says, "It's 6:30, you better get ready." So 6:30 is around the time I like to be at work. Right now, for example, it is 6:24. I'm on schedule tonight. But I woke up at 6:30, so I had to have something to eat, and I had to get ready. And by the time I was at work, it was 10 minutes to 8 last night. To add injury to insult, it took until 9 o'clock till I got my first call. My second call ended just at 20 minutes after 10, and you can kind of see where this is going. I was doing on average one trip an hour. such that by 4 in the morning I cleared from a call and I had done my 6th trip. I think I had exactly my lease on and maybe half my fuel. Well, fuel wasn't much for that night because I only did about 90 kilometers the whole night. And that includes what happened at the end. At about 10 to 5, I'm sort of falling asleep in the parking lot. I looked at a lot of YouTube videos, including one which was a Slovenian film about some kids who were visited by UFO kids. And I didn't understand any of the words. Slovenian not being any of my languages, but at least it's my heritage, so I sort of understood some of it. And I knew when they were talking about Ljubljana, they were talking about Ljubljana, which I can't even pronounce properly. But I can pronounce Dubrovnik, so I'm not that bad. Anyway, it was a cute little science fiction film. It was about an hour and a half long. And it was about this little girl who met an alien, and they sort of had a little friendship going on. And teachers were the same. Alien teachers and Earthling teachers were the same. They were teachers. So, and then I started to read a little bit. I think I read maybe 30 pages, and about 10 to 5 I got a call. And it went to a street that I was familiar with, and I'd been to that house before, but I'd forgotten where the call had gone to in the past. And it ended up that the call went to the airport for $40.45 on the meter. I got $48 for that one. But regrettably, it was all Visa, MasterCard. Everything from that night was Interac. I didn't have 1 penny in cash from the whole night. The whole night was about $145, including everything, including that last trip to the airport, and none of it was in cash. So I had to dig into my coin pocket to buy the $9 worth of gasoline that I had burned during the night. And the car didn't even get dirty. It was still clean from the night before when I had washed it and cleaned the interior and everything. And what to my surprise, there was a guy driving day shift. It was the guy who usually drives Sunday day and Monday day and Friday day. He was also driving Thursday day. I think he did that to help out the owner who's gone on vacation this week. He's gone on a road trip somewhere. And so if I have any overs from my Interacs and charges from this week, I will not get them next week. I will get them a week later. And now I've got on my mind I have to go get a criminal records check to go through the hassle of renewing my taxi permit. So I have to go to these commissionaire guys, get them to do a criminal records check, and I have to take all that paperwork down to the police station where somebody from City Hall is going to look at it and issue me a new taxi permit. So I think I should get that done within the next week. Also got to take my car in for an oil change because it's due. And there's somebody walking right by the front of my car on a phone or something. You probably didn't hear her. Anyways, yeah, so far the first 3 nights of the week has been no shit hot. I really don't expect May to be a wonderful, wonderful month. We're still before the tourist season, and there are cars piling up in this zone anyway. Where's my position now? I was 4th when I booked in and turned on the camera. Now I am 2nd. Oh well, it could be worse. And I'll let you know about the rest of the week as it unfolds, or after it has unfolded. Talk to you sooner. Well, this was some eventful night. Let me tell you. I started out in the part of town where I usually start out, and I had my first fare about half an hour into it, and this younger couple went from the Accent Inn, which is like a little hotel in the part of town where I like to work, and they went downtown. And when they got out, I was just finishing my paperwork like I always do. You know, I got my paperwork here, and I was just finishing it, and as I was doing so, this guy gets in with his guitar and his he wants to go to Marigold, but he wants to go his way rather than the way I would choose, because he knows better. He's one of these control people, you know. Fine, I took him his way because his way cost about $5 more than the way I would have cost. Very good, very well. I was making my way back to the part of town where I work, and just as I was getting close to the Uptown Mall, I got sent to the Fireside Grill, which is kind of like a exclusive restaurant, and I was picking up a doctor there who had given a talk to other doctors about lungs or respiration, you know, pulmonary stuff, you know. And she went out to the airport. Now, after that doctor went out to the airport, I had a grand total of 2, 4, 6 trips before 1 o'clock. And those 6 trips were, you know, averages trips between $10 and $15. But if not for that beginning, the 3 trips in the beginning with the run to the airport, I would have had very little of any good. Because between 1 o'clock and 4, I sat in one spot. At one point in time, another driver came by and knocked on my window and asked if I was all right. Basically, he woke me up from my nap. I had been sleeping. I went to sleep a couple times in that parking lot while waiting for another call. And I was even dreaming that I got some trips. I was dreaming of having, you know, taxi fares. But no, for 4 hours I did nothing. Then just before 5 o'clock, I got sent to Colquitt's Avenue. And when I got to Colquitt's Avenue, this lady came out of the house with a great big bag of luggage, and she went, yes, you guessed it, to the airport. I've had 2 runs to the airport during this trip, during tonight. One at the very beginning, or 7:30 time call, and one at the end at 5 o'clock, almost 8 hours later, with very little in between. So tonight I would say was a success, but on the whole the week was bullshit. Although on the whole the night was bullshit, except for those 2 runs to the airport. Yes sirree, that's the only money I made. Anyway, one more night to go. I will give you the lowdown on that night to go after it's gone. It will be the Friday night. Looks like weather's going to be beautiful today because there is no clouds anywhere. And I had success even though I slept a good part of the night. Yeah, I'll get to you in about 24 hours. Meanwhile, I got to run this thing into town and wash it. It's almost 5 in the morning on a Saturday, and I came out and it was pretty steady. I had a couple of longer fares just at the very beginning, and that beginning worked out quite well. But then I was busy doing a lot of short trips between about I'd say 7, 8 o'clock till about 1 or so. And then around 1 it kind of slowed down a little bit, and when did, I guess a couple hours ago, around 3 o'clock, I had one. I got sent to Denny's. Now I hate Denny's because one time earlier tonight I got sent to Denny's and there was the people at Denny's were getting into another cab and rushing off, and I called the phone number, and it was a Denny's staff who had called the cab for these people, so they didn't know which cab to get into, and they got into the one that was there rather than the one that was sent to go get them. Anyways, at around 3, I obviously sat out the bar rush. I didn't do any bar business. I never go downtown and do the bar business. I stay on the outskirts, and was reading my book, and so at around 3 I got sent to Denny's, and these 2 boys, well, younger men, came out to this area here, which is Happy Valley, and they had a $35 fare, and I got 40 for it. Now, what to my surprise, at 4:30 I was reading my book, and I kind of got sleepy, and I fell asleep. I put the book down and fell asleep, and then this thing beeps at me, and it was to go to Denny's to pick somebody else up. So these 2 guys and 1 girl got in, and the girl went to like Crystal View off of Atkins. Then the 2 boys said they're going to Happy Valley. So I made the remark that this looked really familiar because I had driven this way already this evening. And then they described the two guys that I had taken earlier. And I said, I don't remember what they looked like because it was dark. So I don't know what they looked like, but they turned up this alleyway here and they got out at a driveway there where there was a big ugly truck. He says, oh, that's my truck. And so I ended up taking these guys and the other guys to the same place. And these people, well, I got $15 from the girl because she was paying part of the ride, and then these boys gave me another $30, so another $45 fare. I've got almost 400 on, and if good luck is still with me, I can make that last little bit in the next hour. It is now 4:57 a.m. The sky is getting paler and even a little bit reddish in the direction of the sunrise, which can be interesting. So all in all, I think I had a pretty good Friday, considering how crappy Fridays have been relatively of late. And I got enough money to take Cindy out for dinner, and I got enough money to buy a bottle of whiskey. And the taxi owner owes me some money from this week because I got overs in the Interact department. So those overs I will only receive in about a week and a half because the owner of the cab is on a road trip right now and he's not in town. But I'll put those Interacts together so that I'll get them, I guess, not this coming week, but next week, coming week. And he asked me if he should leave me some money, my overs, and I said, no, that's okay. My rent isn't due until, the beginning of next month. And if you're gone for a couple of weeks, I can survive it. I'll be all right. Everything will be fine. I'm getting kind of tired. It's just about one more hour to go. Who knows what will happen in that hour. I've started my second sheet already, if you can see that. And, well, if nothing really momentous happens in the next hour or so, I hope yours is better than mine. And talk to you next week or something like that.